Hello and welcome, I'm Stormo, and this is Super Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 5 has just launched, and I thought, while I'm doing these retro games, I should take a look at a Street Fighter 2 game. And the thing is, and you probably notice there's no sound, that's just because that's kind of the way this game is. Let's insert a coin. There we go. And get on with it, shall we? I did assign a start button. I'm sure I did. Ah, there we go. Okay, so, you might be wondering why I've chosen Super Street Fighter 2 and perhaps not the original Street Fighter 2. Let's pick Cammy because she's a character I know how to play in this game. And that's because I actually probably played this a lot more than I played the original. Okay, let's see if I can remember how to play this game. Okay, that's punch, that's punch. Okay, I have assigned controls, that's a kick, good. Okay, cool, I know how to do that now. Right. We are not doing well. Wow, I haven't played this game in a long time. And it plays very differently to modern Street Fighter, and I just got absolutely smashed. Wow. She's a lot slower in this than she is in Street Fighter 4, which is the last game I played with her. Anyway, so let's talk about... I managed to do one that time. Anyway, let's talk about why I'm playing this over... man, that throw though. Wow. Over, say, the original Street Fighter 2. And as I said, the primary reason is that I actually played this a lot more than I did the original Street Fighter 2. When Street Fighter 2 came out, I was probably a little bit younger, and I wasn't as into arcades then as I am now. Ah, jeez, that's... well... fortunately, this is main, so I can just insert credits and continue if I so desire. Or I could actually play another character that I'm not as terrible with. So we could do all of these things, if I can remember how to... There we go, that's how you do that. Anyway, so I thought I'd do this because this is more genuine in terms of being... let's play another character. What should I play? I used to be okay with Blanka, but I tried him in Street Fighter 4 and I cannot play as him. Let's be boring and play as Ryu. Blue Ryu, apparently, is what we're going with. So I'll just play different random characters through this. But yeah, let's see, can I remember how to do... Yes, I can. Okay. The inputs are weird because I'm using an Xbox 360 controller. There we go. There we go, we'll just Dragon Punch Feelong. That sounds like fun. And yeah, I was a little bit too young for the original Street Fighter 2. And so it wasn't until a couple of years later when this game came out that I was sort of more getting into arcades. And the truth is, I wasn't ever as into the Street Fighter games as I actually was into Mortal Kombat at the time. And that sounds funny because Mortal Kombat's a game I don't really enjoy these days. I don't think it's aged anywhere near as well. Oh, jeez. I finally figured out how to do fireballs. Okay, but I'm just going to Dragon Punch my way to victory here because that's how you play this game, isn't it? Anyway, so I was much more into Mortal Kombat, so I didn't really play a lot of Street Fighter anyway, but when Super Street Fighter 2 came out, it introduced Cammy, and being a teenage boy at the time, I thought Cammy was about the hottest thing I'd ever seen in a video game. And I know that's an odd thing to say about a bunch of pixels, but you have to understand I was probably maybe 13 or 14 when she appeared. And yeah, I just really thought she was cute, and so I was like, hey, I want a video game where I can play as her. And so I did. I actually played a fair bit of this and its follow-ups. And I was always a little bit disappointed that they gave her a slightly different look in the Street Fighter Alpha games. And in fact, it's probably worth noting, I actually did play a fair bit of Street Fighter Alpha over this. But for whatever reason, I've chosen to do this instead of the Alpha series. I think probably because this is sort of my first Street Fighter game. You must have beat Shenlong to stand a chance. Oh, that's a pretty legendary thing, isn't it? Okay. Zangief. Let's see how we go here. If you're expecting like high-level Street Fighter 2 play, don't. That's not how I do this. Oh, I can remember how to do that too. Awesome. Mostly because it's basically that, but with a kick instead of a punch. But yeah, and today, actually, I'm recording this on the day Street Fighter V comes out, and I thought it was pretty appropriate to choose this game then. But yeah, where's my heavies? Is that my heavy punch? Oh, I just got... Wow! Jeez, that does a lot of damage. So, I'm probably going to go off and get Street Fighter V and play a bunch of that later today. Because, oh my god, this game. Anyway, as I was saying... Oh! That's not good. So I chose this because, yeah, this is my first sort of Street Fighter experience, and it's more, I guess, I want to pick games that aren't necessarily like what we remember as the classics from, you know, the era that I'm covering here, which is basically the late 80s and early 90s, when I was a kid and a younger teenager. And I basically wanted to cover, you know, the games that I remember playing from that time, rather than the games that have gone on to be classics. And that's why I've picked this. I got done. Wow. That's why I've picked this over something like... Oh, I don't know. I think there's a bit of an emulation glitch there, by the way. Over something like the original Street Fighter 2, or over, you know, a King of Fighters game, or anything like that. Wrong button. There we go. No, press that button. I swear I assigned all that stuff on the keyboard. Let's see if my Blanka skills have held up over the years. Blanka was the character I used to play... When I did play the older Street Fighter 2, Blanka was the character I used to play a lot, but... yeah, once Cammy showed up... Now, as I recall, that is Blanka's move. But he can also do back-forward punch. No. Back-forward punch. No. Okay. He has a cannonball move, but I can't remember how to do it. I'm going to get absolutely smashed here. That's fun. Whoa, 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 whoa. And we got E Honda too, so... I'm getting so badly done. Oh man, this is not good. This is not a game I was ever very good at. Like I said, I played a lot more Mortal Kombat. The other thing we played though, because back when I was a kid, our video shop did have a Street Fighter 2 machine, but it was one of those bootleg ones. And so it was a bootleg where every player had like the ability to shoot fireballs and all this kind of stuff. And it was really bizarre. Like Chun-Li would do a fireball, and because not all the characters had animations for fireballs, I think in fact Blanka, you actually had to... His animation for it was his electricity, so you fired a fireball and did your electricity at the same time, which is actually really imbalanced now that I think about it. I cannot remember how to do his cannonball. I'm sure it's back-forward punch. But I was never good at doing the back-forward punch moves. Anyway, like, I could never play Guile for that reason, because I couldn't do Sonic Booms. I did not do well as Blanka. Let's try a different character. Oh, that's right, resets when you insert the coin, doesn't it? And yeah, we had this bootleg machine, and not only could every character shoot fireballs, but the light fireball was a very slow-moving projectile. Who should I play as? It was a very slow-moving projectile, and... Have I played as Chun-Li? No, I haven't. Let's try Chun-Li. Although, I don't remember ever being good with Chun-Li. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Anyway, Chun-Li's another character where you have to do, like, back-forward kick, isn't it? Oh. Geez, the AI really likes to throw you in this. I'm just noticing that. How do you do spinning bird kick? Is it back-forward kick, or is it, Mind you, I'm trying to do back-forward moves on an Xbox controller where it's impossible to get that input right anyway, so... I probably should just give up and just start doing Oh, got you good. Hate Dalson. Ah, I was blocking, I swear. We're getting done. This is why I cannot play Chun-Li. And if I could remember how to do spinning bird kicks, that'd be really nice, but I cannot for the life of me remember how to do them right now. And I'm not about to look it up, because we're probably not going to play it much longer. I'm going to go back to Cammy after this, I think. But yeah, and the bootleg one had slow-moving fireballs, and they would actually move across the screen very slowly. More importantly, they would actually sort of home in on you as you moved. So you would jump across the screen, and they would he's going to perfect me if I don't do something about this, isn't he? And so you had to sort of time the way they moved and everything like that. And of course, it made the game basically every match reduced to how fast you could get your fireballs out versus how fast the other guy could get fireballs out. Which I suppose isn't surprising. But yeah, it's one of those things where it was like it wouldn't have been. It seemed really cool at the time, but looking back on it, it probably wasn't the most fun thing to play. Because it just, yeah. Let's go with. We'll do different characters. Yeah, I'll try Guile. See if my Guile skills are any good. I could barely do Sonic Booms back in the day. I'm just gonna sit here and try and spam Sonic Booms. So, nope, that's a kick anyway. Back forward punch. Back forward punch. Back forward punch. Let's try flash kicks. Flash kick was charged down and up kick, wasn't it? Down, up kick. There we go. I did it! Down, up kick. Right. I can do a thing. Badly. Really badly, because I'm getting the timing horribly wrong. Oh, jeez. I am so bad at this. I'm so sorry to anyone out there who is ever good at this game. Mortal Kombat's moves are easier to remember because they didn't involve those quarter circles. Like, Mortal Kombat moves were all like directional inputs plus a button or stuff like that, as I recall. Like, for instance, Raiden had back forward, which was like his. Oh, jeez, Cammy, seriously. Oh, I did a Sonic Boom. Oh, I hit her with the Sonic Boom. Wow, I'm getting the hang of it. Is that a kick? That is a kick. So if I do that, that's my hard flash kick. Okay. So I was trying to figure out my moves, but oh boy, that did not go well. I am bad at this. I'm so sorry. Anyway, win quotes. The win quotes are hilarious. But yeah, obviously I'm emulating this in MAME, so there are a few emulation glitches running around from the look of it. So maybe that explains why the AI is being so weird too, being so grabby. I haven't played a game with grabby AI. Who else was I ever pretended to be good at back in the day? I used to try playing Bison a bit, because Bison was, like, cool and really powerful and stuff, so we'll have a crack at Bison as well. But yeah, so, and it wasn't until a few years later, after Super Street Fighter 2 came out, that I actually started playing the games. I was going to TAFE, and they had a Street Fighter 3 machine that started out, I think, as Second Impact. But was trying to remember how to do. Well, that's one thing to remember how to do. Trying to remember how to do Psycho Crusher. Is it back forward punch, back forward kick? I can't remember. Anyway, I don't think it's kick. Oh wow! Gods, that did a lot of damage. Zangief was massively unbalanced back then, wasn't he? Wow. How much damage did Zangief do? Wow. Anyway, as I was saying, so Street Fighter Alpha came out, but the other thing that came out that I got right into were the 3D fighters. Okay, so that's my heavy punch, is it? I may not be remembering how to do Psycho Crusher properly. I'm sure it was back forward, wasn't it? Something like that. I can't do it. It's hard with this too, because I'm using an Xbox 360 controller with the dud D-pad, so it's hard to get the inputs right anyway because of that. Yeah, I did it! Okay. I figured out how to do it. And I'll try and do it with a heavy punch this time. Yeah! Right. Yeah! Okay! This is working. This is working. I'm doing it! This is great. Yes, I got the timing right. I know how to do this now. Oh, except when I don't. Whoa, that does so much damage. Oh my god! That spinning pile driver does so much damage. I've forgotten how deadly that move is. Wow. That is nasty. Well, at least I remembered how to do the other thing. Well, Bison's loose pose is hilarious. So Street Fighter Alpha came out, but I also got into 3D fighting games about that time. So I got into things like Dead or Alive, and I got into what was the other one that was around at the time? I'm just going to go back to Cammy. I'm going to pretend I know what I'm doing with Cammy. But yeah, I got into... I did a hooligan. No, that's not the hooligan. The hooligan's... how do you do the hooligan? It's a dragon punch, isn't it? No. That's not a... Oh, wow, she jumps right through that. Wow. Oh, wow. But those throws, though. Maybe I should be doing throws. Oh, that's good. Yay, I won. Yay, I actually won a round, guys. That's amazing. The way I've been playing it is anyway. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so I got into 3D fighters mostly initially with the first Dead or Alive. And then I also played a fair bit of Tekken 2 and Tekken 3, but the first Dead or Alive and Soul Edge, the game that Soul Calibur is the sequel to. Oh no, I got into Soul Calibur later on too, when that came out, that was a bit later though. And Dead or Alive 2 and all that. So that was kind of what my arcade experience was back then. And the thing is, I never actually owned Super Nintendo. And when it came time to get a new console, it wasn't a Super... Oh, so close. That wasn't a Super Nintendo. I actually got a Nintendo 64. Was the console we upgraded to. So I didn't get a lot, I guess, of home conversions of popular arcade games, because the Nintendo 64 never got them, because they all went on to the PlayStation. So a lot of my gaming experience at that time was actually in the arcades rather than as a home console thing. So I played a lot of the 3D fighters, probably a lot more Daytona than is healthy for any person to ever play. I need to be using the heavies too. That's the heavy. That's what I'm for. I foolishly assigned the heavy kick to a trigger, which has been probably a problem. I should have assigned it to like RB or something like that. But hey, I actually beat somebody. So like, yeah. Anyway, so I was playing a lot of the 3D fighters and things like that. I think we did actually win a fight with Cammy earlier on too. Oh god, it's Blanca. He's going to electrocute the hell out of me, isn't he? Oh, he's going to do that. Oh, he's going to cannonball. Was the horizontal... Was the diagonal cannonball introduced in Super Street Fighter 2, or did he have that in the original as well? Can't remember. Anyway, Cammy. Cammy has, like, none of her moves. Oh, wow. Blanca is, we're done for. And of course, the other thing you don't have in this game, of course, is supers. Like, there's no super meter, there's no like, what was in Alpha, like the V arts or whatever they were called in Alpha. There was none of that in this game either. Supers were actually introduced in, I think, the Turbo version of Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So that's cool, but I was never good at supers anyway. And like I say, by that time I'd moved on to other games, probably. Probably the Alpha series. And yeah, Street Fighter 3 was around like a few years later, obviously, but Street Fighter 3 was around too, and stuff like that. But as I said, yeah, it was mostly, my experience was mostly arcades and fighting games. I got incredibly good at Soul Calibur to the point where I actually ended up being able to beat the game with basically, I think it was, I was able to finish it with what's his name? Yoshimitsu, Sungmina, Taki, Sophicia, and a couple of other characters. And the one I remember the most out of that was doing it with Sophicia on my first try, having never played the character before. So I thought that was really funny. What's a character I should play that I haven't yet? Yeah, we'll be a Ken Scrub. We'll go the full Ken Scrub this time. So yeah. I know he's basically Ryu with a funny hat. Although his different is his Dragon Punch is more dangerous, isn't it? Because this is the game where they start really... Jesus! What the hell is Ryu doing? Just fireballs. Endless fireballs. This is the game where Ryu and Ken... Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But, oh man, all those fireballs. Wow. Hit him after I died. Anyway, so, what was I saying? Oh, that's right, yeah, and I got to the point with Soul Calibur that I actually could beat the game at will, and pretty much anyone who challenged me in the arcade, and I played in arcades where that was a thing that would happen quite a bit, anyone who challenged me in the arcades lost. So my fighting game claim to fame to this day is that I'm undefeated against human challengers on the arcade version of Soul Calibur. The home version, I mostly undefeated, but a friend of mine and I when I got a Dreamcast, and I'm going to be getting to the Dreamcast in this series, but when I got a Dreamcast, a friend of mine and I used to play Soul Calibur constantly, and I won most of the time, but not all of the time. And he'll accept that, I think. I must defeat Sheng Long to stand a chance. If you know the story behind that win quote, it's to do with revealing Akuma, and it was a joke in... It actually started out as an April Fool's joke in an EGM, I think it was, and it basically became canon in the series after that. Who haven't I played as yet? Sagat. Let's go Sagat. I can't play Sagat at all. Like, I can't play most of these characters. The thing I'm finding playing this now, actually, is how much slower and how much less fluid it is. Like, this game just feels so much... I mean, it feels fine, but it's... I guess most of the problem is just the age. It's just the age of it. God, Sagat's strong, isn't he? It's just the age of it, I guess, where it's... There we go. Well, fighting games have evolved so much since this came out. This game itself was an evolution of what had existed before. It added... What did this game add, actually? Like, aside from more characters to Street Fighter? Well, it added smoother graphics, and I'm pretty sure it's probably better balanced, I would imagine, than the first... Because remember, in this game... That's what this game would have added, actually, is combos. Well, not so much added combos, but legitimized combos in the Street Fighter series. Like, before this, combos weren't... Tiger Knee. That's what I wanted to do there. Sagat's voice, though. But combos were a sort of... In the original Street Fighter 2, combos were actually a glitch. The ability to actually put one move in after another and have them hit twice without the opponent being able to stop it was actually sort of a glitch they discovered in development. And stuff like that first attack meter and stuff like that, that was all new to Street Fighter in this game. The combo counter wasn't... I don't think was new to Street Fighter. Like, counting the combos was something that... well, it was new to Street Fighter in this game. But it wasn't new to fighting games, because I think it was Killer Instinct was actually the first fighting game to have a combo counter, because that game had its crazy, like, 40-hit combos and all that crap that it had. There we go. We won. Sagat is good. But yeah, and then you had this game, which, like I say, is something of an evolution of Street Fighter, and I suppose around the same time as this, maybe a little bit later, you started getting things like Darkstalkers, and Darkstalkers is actually really interesting in terms of its contribution to the evolution of fighting games, because it's probably actually a more important fighting game than Street Fighter 2. In terms of being... And that sounds weird given how important and influential Street Fighter 2 actually is, given it, you know, defined the genre. But Darkstalkers, the original Darkstalkers in a lot of ways, actually sets a lot of the genre conventions that other fighting games would then follow. Whereas Street Fighter 2 is an older style of this game. It's kind of like how the first Fatal Fury, even though it too is a one-on-one fighting game, the first Fatal Fury actually predates Street Fighter 2. And so it does a lot of things really differently to Street Fighter 2, and it feels really differently to what came after it because of that. And even the original Street Fighter is a really weird... If you ever got MAME lying around, just grab the ROM for the original Street Fighter and play it, because it is nothing like what this game is at all. It's so much slower and less, so much simpler as well than this. And there are no moves or anything like that, and Cammy just absolutely destroyed us there. So, as she is wont to do, I guess. It's must intrigue me. Let me remodel the face one more time. Yes. I know I could just continue infinitely with this, but I just want to try different characters and stuff. I think we'll give it one more shot, and then we'll call it a video, because I've said most of what I wanted to say. Who should I have a crack with this time? Just realised too, there's only 2 female characters at this point in Street Fighter's history. There's no Karen, there's no try Fei Long. I know nothing about Fei Long. There's no Karen, there's no Sakura, there's no Rose or any of those characters, because they of course all came in. So, what kind of character is Fei Long? I don't think I've ever actually played as him before, so I don't know any of his moves. Is he a Shota style, or is he that? Yeah, he's a Shota style. Okay. Oh, Chun-Li with those throws do so much damage. Wow. Was that normal back in the day? Was like throws really just massively OP in Street Fighter back then, or was it just? Oh, that's right. This is the first game where Chun-Li has a fireball, isn't it? I forgot she had a fireball in this. I didn't even try to use it. That's right, yeah, because she has a... Is it Kikoken or whatever she says? Yeah. Anyway, so, in a lot of ways, this game... well, in a lot of ways, Darkstalkers, I think, was more important than this game in terms of evolving. And the whole point I was trying to make about the evolution stuff was that... this game was at a point in fighting games evolution where fighting games are still young, and compared to a modern game, compared to Street Fighter 4 and what I've played of Street Fighter 5, this game feels so much slower. But like at the time, this game was much smoother and much more. It seemed much more balanced than at least the previous Street Fighter games. It was like probably about this time where it became clear that fighting games could be a serious competitive thing, I think. Although that wouldn't, I don't think, come into its own until the early 21st century, like the early 2000s or thereabouts. I did better that time, but geez, I have no idea what I'm doing with Fei Long. Still, we had fun. I had fun. Wow, that portrait. Wow. I'm playing the world version of this, by the way, too, because that would have been the version I would have played in the arcades back here in Australia. So, but anyway, yeah, I thought I'd take a look at this. It's a game that I think's... Well, it's aged reasonably well, as long as you're willing to accept the fact that fighting games have evolved a lot since this. This intro scene, by the way, was really impressive, I think. I remember this is kind of what attracted me to the game originally was, oh my god, look at that massive Ryu sprite. Well, I probably didn't say sprite because I didn't really know what sprites were back then. Maybe a little bit. But anyway, the point is that this game was one of my sort of earliest introductions into fighting games, more so than the original Street Fighter 2 as well. But also I think that it's done okay, like it's still fun. And it feels, you know, like the moves and everything like that haven't changed a lot since this game. It just, everything's more refined and more fluid now, I guess, is the best way to say it. But yeah, so that's Super Street Fighter 2. Here comes a new challenger. Wow, there you go. That's Super Street Fighter 2, the original Super Street Fighter 2, not Turbo or any of the revisions after that. I think there was only the Turbo revision. But yeah, and I was a game that I played a lot, and as I said, mostly because I thought Cammy was really cute when I was like 13. And I still play as Cammy, actually. I still find her a really fun character to play, so... in fact, she's probably the character I'm going to play once I get my hands on Street Fighter 5, which may or may not be later today. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.